اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. The biggest destroyer for a person is their ego. When we look at Shaitan, his issue was the ego. And as a human being, the biggest destruction for you and I in this world and in the hereafter is our ego. That when we think that we are superior to people because of our background or status or our wealth, that's when it ruins our relationships in this world. And in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well, this will ruin our reckoning with Him. And one way that we can counteract this is by not overpraising. Right? When we praise people, sometimes out of kindness we'll be like, brother, you're such and such. Sister, you're such and such. MashaAllah, you're doing such good work. But we're feeding into the ego, it's natural. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentions in Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he says in a hadith of Adab al-Mufrad that on one occasion he's seen people praising others in front of him. So he got dust and he threw it in their faces. So they're like, why would you do this? So he said that قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا رأيتم المداحين فاحثوا التراب في وجوههم. That when you see people that are excessively praising each other, they throw sand in their face, throw soil in their face. And this was a figure of speech. It was metaphoric by the Prophet ﷺ, but Ibn Umar, he took it literally. But what he meant was that warn the people that don't go excessive when you're praising people, because that's going to bloat their ego. That's going to bloat their ego. Okay, praise a little bit, yeah, where praise is due. Because even the Prophet ﷺ, he praised himself. When he was talking about his position, he said, أَنَا سَيِّدُ وُلْدِ آدَمْ وَلَا فَخْرٍ. That he said, I am the best of human beings, but I have no haughtiness, no pride. So even the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't madah, he didn't praise of himself, but he says, I have no pride. My ego is not there to play. But when we thank people, we should not be from maddahin, people that excessively, we're saying things that aren't even found in the person. We're saying things that aren't even found in the person. Yes, praise, thank someone, but don't go overboard, because this is what feeds the ego. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He talks about the ego in various places. The nafs, how delicate it is, this nafs of ours, that one praise and we're in the heavens. One good thing and we feel like we're there. So it's very important that we're very careful with this nafs. And if we ever do feel like there's someone's praises us, we can always do istighfar and ask Allah that, oh Allah, cleanse my heart, cleanse my nafs. Because that same nafs, the same ego that we call it, it can be this thing that's directing us to Jannah. That same self of ours could take us to Jannah, and equally could drag us to Jahannam. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, give us that nafs, that self, which is pure and clean, and that is mutma'inna, that Allah says on the Day of Judgment, Irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyya, that return to your Lord in a state where He is pleased with it, it is pleased with Him. فَادْخُلِي فِي عِبَادِي وَادْخُلِي جَنَّتِي. That's why it's mentioned, so because the nafs, it's such a delicate thing. One praise and we'll be in the sky, we think we're better than everyone. And also one kind of remark against it and it'll lower it. One comment against it and it'll be lowered. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala purify ourselves, our nafs, our hearts, our minds, and make it from amongst those nufus and those selves that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell us and will tell it that enter my Jannah and my paradise in the clean, happy state. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك يا رب.